Red knows what direction this show will go in, so let's start this one off swimmingly. Coach Pivick in the house and on the broadcast. Celebrate Cardinal sports with David, as this is truly one team. Sportsnight is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sportsnight. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. And I'll tell you, if you like short highlights and a long show, a quick show,
it's very full.
We've got
it's
so much.
Very, very
so
full. We
much
went from
going
3
on.
highlights last week to 9 this week. A lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of fun stuff to talk about. And, of course, what has a lot of people excited throughout the school and the community is the football team. It's homecoming week, and the football team is on a roll heading into Friday's game against Park Center. Cardinals welcomed Irondale to the complex last week. Both teams were 2-1. The Knights were coming off a dominant victory over Henry Sibley, while the Cardinals were gunning for their 3rd straight win over a conference opponent. Defense sets the tone right away in this one. Just the 3rd snap of the ball game, Miles Taylor gets the strip. Jordan Nolan gets the recovery. Cardinals take over at the Knights' 30-yard line. Just 4 plays later, 3rd and 11 from the 18. Van Holzen with time airs it out to the end zone. Finds Jordan Doe all alone. Cards up 7-0. Defense going to work again. Irondale's 3rd play from scrimmage. It's Nolan with the strip and Taylor with the recovery this time. 2nd turnover sets Cards up at the Knights' 28. They take advantage of the short field again, this time on the ground. Brian Garlick right up the gut for the 2-yard score. Cardinals up 14, less than halfway through the 1st quarter. Cardinals' next possession, Garlick with a definite highlight reel catch. Goes up and gets it with one hand, a 29-yard gain. That drive fizzled out, but the Cardinals just flying down the field all night. Van Holzen again, this time to Avant Shannon running free in the seam. Nice to see Shannon back in the lineup. He's untouched for a 39-yard touchdown. The offense was great, but it all starts with the defense. Late in the half, the throw is off the receiver's hands right to Antonio Manos. He's headed back the other way. It was Manos' birthday, and he celebrated with a 63-yard return. And that set up a 41-yard field goal attempt for Alex Findlay on the final play of the 1st half. And he has just enough on this one to send the Cardinals to the locker room up 24-0. After an interception on Irondale's 1st play of the 3rd quarter, Cardinals turned it into points again. David Jeebley gets a nice hole, bounces off of one tackle, makes another man miss, goes in for the 30-yard score. It's 31-0 Cardinals. Irondale facing 3rd and 16. Forced throw. Joseph Tarnu there for his 2nd interception in just 4 plays on the field in the 2nd half. 5 turnovers for the Cardinals defense for the 2nd week in a row, and the offense backed up on 3rd and 27 from the 32. They set the screen for Jeebley, and he's very dangerous in open field. Makes guys miss, shakes and bakes his way down to the 5, get the 1st down. 2 plays later, it's Jeebley going off tackle to the left for the 2-yard score. Cardinals convert on all 5 turnovers. 31 of their 38 points come on turnovers, and they win easily 38-0.
Oh, you know me. I could talk about football the entire show, but the fact the defense pitched a shutout, that was
huge.
Incredible. And I thought, and we talked about it, I thought the best complete game that this team has played all season long. Offensively, defensively, special teams. I thought they just were hitting on all cylinders, and this is obviously the time of the season where you want to play that way.
Absolutely, and they've got a great opportunity coming up, but they are playing so very well right now, and it's fun football to watch. Here's a look at what's going on around the rest of the Suburban Blue. Forest Lake gets just past Park Center, then Armstrong over at Chaska 32-14. Hopkins beat Chanhassen in a tight one, and Spring Lake Park a big win over at St. Louis Park. And as we look at the standings, Cardinals and the Falcons still undefeated at 3-0 in the conference. Armstrong 4-0 overall. Behind them, Hopkins, Forest Lake. Hopkins just 1-1. They've only played 2 of their conference games. They've got both their non-conference games out of the way. 1 and 2 teams are Forest Lake, Irondale, and Park Center, or at Spring Lake Park, and then Park Center at 0-3, 0-4. And that's the Cardinals' next opponent. This is a very struggling Pirates team. The Cardinals on a roll, and if they can come out and play the way they have the last couple of weeks, should get the victory on Friday, and that would send them to Armstrong in the 4th with a possible championship matchup in the making.
Yeah, it's exciting, and obviously it's homecoming this particular Friday, and a shout out goes to Alex Findlay, homecoming king for this Friday night, and Allison Althouse She was the homecoming queen. I'm hoping I pronounced your last name correctly, Allison.
Well, Findlay, 41-yard field goal. We were talking about it before the show. You saw him kicking 50-plus at practice.
56 yards.
So fun to see, have that weapon.
Yep.
That's a huge, huge thing for a high school football team. Moving right along, tennis team very busy closing out the regular season last week. They had to drop one of their games due to weather, but they improved to 13-1 with a 6-1 win over St. Francis on Monday. They did run into, unfortunately, a tougher team in Centennial that they lost to 6-1. Only win coming from Anna Samet at fourth singles, 6-3, 6-2. Got to the final game of the regular season with a 13-2 mark. That's pretty impressive.
That is very impressive. Well, the Cardinals wrapped up their regular season on Thursday, hosting their rivals from Anoka. It was a special day for the Coon Rapids squad. Not only were they finishing their best season in recent memory, but they had a very special guest there to watch as well. Longtime Cardinals coach Bob Pivick, for whom the tennis courts are named, was in town to be inducted into the Coon Rapids Hall of Fame. He joined the broadcast for TCN's coverage match and was honored by the team afterwards. They were a witness to a good one. Grace Anula really did a great job of controlling the court at first singles. Unfortunately, she had too many unforced errors, ended up losing in straight sets at 1-6, 2-6, but their match was really much closer than the score. Senior Emma Newton and sophomore Kelsey Goldman teamed up on the first doubles court, and they had their hands full with a talented tornado duo. Newton and Goldman started fast. They won the opening set 6-3 and were leading 3-0 in the second before Anoka's team made an effort to come back. But Goldman and Newton held on to win 7-6 and clinch in straight sets. Elsewhere down the line, the Cardinals had a lot of success, winning 5-2, and that improved their record to 14-2 on the year. Just incredible.
Pretty impressive.
Yep.
And you think back to the emails we were getting from Coach Storick early in the schedule. He's saying, they're playing really well. We do have a lot of talent, but just so impressed with how well they were doing in those close matches.
Absolutely.
And look at where they are now, 14-2. They have the crossover match this week on Thursday. They're at Rogers, a Rogers team that they've beaten twice. They beat them 5-2 in their regular season match, and then played a tournament straight doubles and won that event 3-2. And then next week they start on Tuesday they start the section team tournament.
Yep.
So very exciting stuff for that squad. Well, the volleyball team opened play last week with a road trip to St. Francis for some non-conference action. Saints had just one more victory than the Cardinals, so it was a great chance for both of these teams to get a much-needed win. They may not be in the same section anymore, but this is still a good rivalry. Tight score late in the first set. The Saints with a good turn to set up on their left side, but Bella Brasnahan is there to shut it down with the block, one of her team-high 4 against the Saints. Saints with set point in the first. Cardinals just down 1. They set up on the left side, but the attack is wide, and St. Francis gets the advantage with a 25-23 win. Another close one in the second. Tied at 6. Great pass to set up Michaela Wilbur. She goes cross-court for the kill. Cardinals leading for much of the early going. But St. Francis grabs the momentum midway through. Great midcourt attack by Madison Gully right to the back line. Saints take the second set 25-17. Cardinals down, but definitely not out. Becca Mastler attacking, finding that same back line. CR up 18-15, and they're not quite ready to go home. Set point, they go back to Mastler, and she blasts it through the block. One of her 8 kills in the match. Coon Rapids stays alive, 25-22 in the third. Saints got a lead early in the fourth, and the Cardinals playing catch-up. Another good look for Wilbur. She finds the seam of the defense to keep hope alive. Another big block for Bella Brasnahan late in the fourth. Saints lead is 20-13 at that point. Brasnahan also had 22 assists in the match. The hole was too deep and they couldn't climb out. Match point, Gully fires it right to the back corner. Ends the night with a 25-16 score. St. Francis in 4.
Yeah, tough night. Obviously, St. Francis, pretty good volleyball squad, but the Cardinals would have liked to have gotten the win and got at least extended it another opportunity.
One of those non-conference matches, it's a good matchup for them, very close. Unfortunately, they weren't able to come out on top. On Thursday, they went up against a very tough Maple Grove team, lost in 3, 25-18, 25-19, and 25-17. Cardinals don't have any home contests this week. They're at Park Center Tuesday and then hosting Champlin Park on Thursday. They will be back next week, and their home community drive continues. Remember that they are collecting crayons, used crayons, and school supplies to donate to local schools and hospitals. And then the Dig Pink event is huge for them next week. That's on Thursday. Extra concessions against Anoka and the Fill the Bucket challenge for the donations. Raised over $2,000 last year, hoping to do the same again this year.
Yeah, make sure everybody comes out for that one. It's a great event, and you get to see a fun volleyball contest.
And the CTN crew will be there.
We will be there. Well, the swimming and diving team was at the University of Minnesota for the Maroon and Gold Invitational on Saturday, but first they hosted Anoka on Thursday. The Cardinals were a little shorthanded due to some illnesses, but didn't quite have the depth to get the win. But they had some great efforts and continue to cut key times towards tournament time. Junior Josie Ingvaldson had a personal best off the board against Anoka. This pike somersault half twist helped her take second with a total score of 154.90. Megan Schultz lost a couple of races against Anoka's Reese Dean, two of the fastest swimmers in the section, but Schultz sets the pace in the 100 butterfly, getting the win in a time of 58.52. Nice race there. Freshman Laura McCarr in the blocks for the Cardinals. In the 100 freestyle, she has a great race. A close second place finish in a time of 1:01.28 as she touches the wall. Senior Pamela King handles a long-distance event against Anoka. She holds a great pace, start to finish. She'll take second place in a time of 5:53.52 as she touches the wall there. Great race in the 100 backstroke. Sophomore Emma Schmidt and Anoka 8th grader Cecilia Jensen side by side to the wall. Great race here. Jensen's going to tag up first. Going to clinch the win for the Tornadoes. At the same time, Cardinals fall by a score of 99-82 on the evening.
Yeah, and some good races and some top-level talent, and the Cardinals a little short-handed for that one.
Which makes it difficult.
But still doing good things, and they're getting to important times of the season. They were a part of a very big event on Saturday at the Maroon and Gold over at the University of Minnesota. And we knew it was coming, and there it is. Megan Schultz set the record for Coon Rapids High School with a 500 free time of 5 minutes, 16.06 seconds. All individual events now owned by Megan Schultz. The only swimming event not to have her name next to it is the 200 medley relay. And watch for things to happen in that event later this season. But she's still got another year. She's just a junior. So she had a first place finish in the 200 free as well. Ella Hacker was first place in the 100 fly, fifth place in the 100 back, a second place finish for the 200 free relay team, and Emma Schmidt had a 10th place finish in the 200 IM, and they have Osseo coming to Northdale Middle School on Thursday. And Howie,
we'll be there. Make sure you come out and see us.
That event starting at 6 p.m. and will be right here on CTN. They are at the St. Peter Invitational on Saturday. Well, the cross-country teams only had one event this past week, but it was the biggest high school cross-country event in the world. The Malacca Mega Meet was held on Saturday, and it was delayed by rain. But Coach Denny Green says, despite it being less than ideal running conditions, it led to a perfect display of why everyone should consider cross-country running. During the delay, the teams were sent to the nearest buses, so teams were intermingled together. It led to everyone taking the positives from a rainy day and enjoying their sport. The course was a bit sloppy. People were slipping and sliding. Time suffered, but it didn't dampen anybody's mood. Cardinals finished in 23rd place. Their top finishers were Isa Hoagland, Zoe Hoagland, and Sarah Eichstad. The rain was even harder during the boys' race, and all along the course, runners from other levels were cheering them on. Over 1,000 high school athletes on site for the event, and they were all celebrating the sport on what might seem a dreary day. Coon Rapids boys finished a very respectable 18th place. Noah Christensen finished 80th, with Mike Smith and Andre Kemboy finishing in 89th and 91st places, respectively.
It's just an amazing event. How much participation they get, and you look at that, and just a great job, great finish for the boys there, and it's just amazing how many people come out for this and what great competition there is in this tournament.
Well, and it's also, hearing Coach Denny Green talk about how excited he was to be there, and how, what a great event it was, and showed the sportsmanship, the togetherness, everybody cheering everybody else on from other teams, and just enjoying the whole day as an event. He said it was really something that, one of those events that really shows why cross-country running is so special. Cross-country team has the Mustang Invitational on Friday. For some teams, Roy Grayak Invitational at the University of Minnesota is on Saturday. That's another huge event. And then my personal favorite, the Thundering Elk Royal Invitational, is next Thursday.
You should be there for that, if it's your favorite.
I enjoy the name. I'll
gotcha.
talk about it next week and then again the week after. How about that?
Okay, perfect.
Soccer teams have been very busy, Howie, since last time we sat at this desk. 5 games since the last sports night. It started with a doubleheader against Blaine, with the Bengals coming to town, and the boys started with a win, beating them 3-1 in that event.
Well, the Cardinals feel momentum off back-to-back wins, but a little stiffer challenge for the one on Tuesday when they traveled to Totino Grace. The Eagles have won 4 of their last 5 and were averaging just under 4 goals a game. They were trying to keep pace with the league leaders, and they weren't going to let the Cardinals slow them down. Eagles get their wind under their wings right away. Brian Brown working the middle off of the field, feeds Stevie Lemire, streaking on the seam. He goes low to the short side to score. Tino Grace on the board very, very early. Coon Rapids not getting a lot of looks in this one. Smothering defense from TG. Elmir Begic attacking the 1 versus 3. Able to get the shot on goal, but a pretty easy save for the keeper. Eagles with another quick strike. 50-50 winner at midfield, sent in deep. And Lemire wins the race to the ball. He nets his second of the night. He wasn't done. Just minutes later, Totino Grace gets it back to Lemire on the right wing again. Great shot back across to the far side post in. Lemire with a hat trick. It wasn't even midway through the first half. Totino Grace cruises to the 5-0 win, ending the Cardinals' streak at 2.
Yeah, that's they call it a natural hat trick in hockey. If you have 3 straight scores, he did it very quickly in just over 16 minutes, and really put the Cardinals on their heels. And the Totino defense really kept the Cardinals from mounting much of a threat. Cardinals, however, were able to bounce back with a victory against Osseo, beating the Orioles 2-1 on Thursday, getting their 3rd win in 4 games. Feeling pretty good. Dimitri Tkach had a goal and an assist. Kamoun had the other goal and assist for Elmir Begic in the win. On Saturday, though, they kind of let one get away from them a little bit. St. Francis slipping past the Cardinals 5-4. Dimitri Tkach, 3 points, 2 goals and an assist. Harmon had a goal and an assist. Jasinek had the other goal with assists to Tomas Mena and Mohamed Fadi.
Yeah, Coach Oster was up in the booth talking to us before the girls' game. He said that one, we probably should have won that one. We did let it get away.
Felt pretty good about the offense, though. When you get 4 goals, especially a team that struggled here and there, but really things starting to come together a little bit better as they head toward the most important part of their schedule.
Yeah, and they just offensively, they felt their defense played a little bit better in some situations, but felt their offense needs a little work as well. Looking to get back on that.
Well, the Cardinals back on their home field with a little tougher challenge on Monday. The boys really needed to bounce back from that disappointing loss to St. Francis. Champlin Park, a good team, but very beatable. Cardinals just couldn't let their high-powered offense get rolling. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. In just the 10th minute of play, Cole Brinson sends it ahead for Will Heinen to run onto. He one-times it past Dinsmore. Rebels have a lot of weapons. They brought the pressure all night. Pretty passing from Kinnaid to McSweeney to Cullen Mork at the back post for the redirect. 2-0 just over midway through the first. They were up 3-0 at the half, and they pick up right where they left off. They scored twice in the first 91 seconds of the second half. They had 15 shots to the Cardinals' 5 in the game. 6-0 before the Cardinals get a PK to avoid the shutout. Elmir Begic nets his team high 5th of the season, but it's really all Rebels in a 7-1 rout.
Yeah, I was impressed with Chample Park last night. They did a really nice job of running up the score and really just keeping Coon Rapids off their game. And the further that the Cardinals fell behind, the tougher it was for them to dig out.
Well, both boys and girls teams
Yep.
were impressive. Cardinals hoping they can bounce back, get right back on track. Winnable game for them on Thursday when they host the Rogers Royals. Then they are at Park Center on Saturday, and Park Center a very tough squad.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
The boys
they are
have
good.
and that starts a string of very tough teams that the Cardinals are forced to face right in a row. Girls team played those same 5 opponents, and similar results. They come up just short, however, against the Blaine Bengals, losing 3-2. Kylie Scott and Molly Terabeza had the goals. Molly Knobloch and Bailey Payne had the assists.
Well, the schedule didn't get any easier for the Cardinals when they traveled to take on Totino Grace on Tuesday. The Eagles weren't blowing teams away, but they were doing just enough to win and keep themselves toward the top of the standings. They won 3 of their last 4, including a pair of shutouts, so the Cardinals' struggling offense would be severely challenged. Cardinals bringing the pressure early. A lot of young talent for this team, especially up front. Sophomore Molly Knobloch out battling a couple of Eagles for this ball, but the shot attempt is going to sail wide right. Both defenses limiting chances in the first half. Totino trying to create on the corner kick, but Maddie Hedlund comes out for the cover. No score at the break. Totino with control early in the second. Kiera Laney can't find a way in, so she lofts a shot from a long ways out. Just perfectly placed over the hands of Hedlund, and the Eagles put the first score on the board. Coon Rapids trying to answer. Knobloch again through the middle, looking for the redirect, but it goes right through and out the end line. Trying to get it up there, and you see it go past. Totino able to keep the ball on the other end a lot in the second half. Hedlund made 12 saves, but the Cards come up short again, unfortunately losing 1-0 for the 3rd time in 4 games, and that's tough when that happens to you.
Yeah, that's what has apparently been the struggles for this team. Doing a lot good defensively, keeping good teams from getting more than one, but if you can't get that one to answer, you come up on the short end a lot.
You do, unfortunately.
Well, the Cardinals were able to bounce back against Osseo. They got 3 against the Orioles. Molly Terabeza in on all 3 of them with a goal and 2 assists. Molly Knobloch had a goal and a helper. Kylie Scott also netted 1 for the Cardinals. Maddie Hedlund made 10 saves to record the shutout. Then on Saturday, the Cardinals come up just short against St. Francis, losing 2-1. Peyton Taylor had the goal on an assist from Molly Terabeza in that one. Well, the Cardinals open play this week facing one of the hottest teams in the state. Champlin Park Rebels were undefeated at 8-0-1 and ranked 8th. And they do it with their defense. They had 5 shutouts on the year and allowed just 1 goal in each of the other 4 games. Not an ideal opponent when you're looking to kickstart a struggling offense. And then they get one taken away. Midway through the first, nice free kick by Molly Knobloch. Off a bounce, a perfect header by Bailey Payne to the back of the net. This one's waved off on, I would say, a questionable offside.
I would as well.
As advertised, though, the Rebels didn't allow many good looks while their offense generated a lot of them. Megan Carlson gets it to Julia Sullivan, and all alone, she flips it to the far corner. Starts the scoring with just over 15 minutes left in the first. They had another before the break. Sullivan plays it toward the front of the net. Perfect position for the redirect by Maylee Mathis. 2-0 Champlin Park at the half. Rebels got a goal on a PK early in the second. More nice passing late in the game. Mathis to Paige Kala out front all alone. Easy goal. Rebels run away with a 4-0 win. Cardinals just 2 shots on goal in the game.
It's a tough one, and much like the boys when we talked about the girls, it really controlled the action down in the Cardinal end for pretty much the entire match, and it's difficult, especially when
even more so that girls team. That girls team is really good.
They're very good, and so it really Coon Rapids, as you talked about, just 2 shots on goal.
Well, their defense was a shutdown defense. Yep. Every time the Cardinals came down, they were outnumbered at the ball. Turned around quickly. Yep. They passed very, very, very well and moved as a unit.
Impressive.
And they did all of the
very
things a team needs to do to win, and they were very successful. Cardinals hoping they can find the answers to their recent struggles with a home game against Rogers on Thursday. They're at Park Center on Saturday. Park Center girls, not quite the same level as the boys. Cardinals, possibly, if they can get things to go right, get that offense going, stay strong on defense the way they have. They have a chance to get back-to-back wins before we sit here again.
They do, and we'd love to see it. And obviously, you just shake that loss to Champlain Park because it's a really good team off. And
4 goals given up, but I mean the defense still played really well, despite the fact that Champlain Park still was able to generate that many good looks. I mean, they had a lot of good looks.
And it's unfortunate that goal was waved off early in the game because I don't.
What does that do for confidence? How does that change the complexion of the game? I don't know. I don't know that it changes the outcome, but we will never know. And I did stop it right at the point where she struck the ball, and to me, it does not look offside.
I talked to Coach Karen after the game. He definitely did not feel that was an offside and felt that the refs took that one away from the squad. But what do you do?
That's why you play the games.
Yep.
But we have games to be played here on CTN. Swimming and diving on Thursday live at 6 o'clock from Northdale Middle School pool. It's actually going to be Osseo, the opponent. And then on Friday, homecoming game against Park Center, live 7 o'clock. Volleyball on Thursday next week. That's Dig Pink for Breast Cancer Night. Come out and support the volleyball team at Roger E. Carlson Fieldhouse. You can catch the replay on YouTube or later in the week.
That's my bad. I actually told Kelly it was Andover. Shame on me. I'll take the heat.
That's going to do it for this edition of CTN Sports. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.